Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in
Florida.
Episode 138.
We're here.
Here we are.
That intro was different.
Thank you.
Did
I
you
think
mix
it's slightly
it up?
different.
I squeezed my throat to make it sound a little different as I was saying it.
Your
Little pinch.
voice box.
Yeah.
Now, I want to say this. Speaking of pinching, when we came into the studio, Cameron said
What's this
that
going?
he once raked leaves
Right.
for 2 weeks in order to save up enough money to buy a POD CD.
Oh, so he was pinching his peonies.
I was
Yes.
Is that what you were saying?
pinching
Yes.
my pennies. I was, yeah. That was a big deal for me. You know, I don't remember the other CD that I was planning on going to buy a different CD.
Limp
Right.
I
Bizkit?
can't remember what it was. But then I got to FYE.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Nope. You're paying $3 more at
And
FYE.
listen, yeah, but that you got to browse. So
Right.
I was browsing. I'm like, POD, they look cool.
Okay, so one guy had dreads. for
Youth
sure.
of the Nation.
Pod.
Pod.
Yep.
Get some pod up in me. And so I did.
Yeah, amen.
It was a great CD.
What POD stand for?
I
Payable on death. Well, now, what is the last
Really?
time?
Yeah.
Yeah. What is the last
big
time?
fan.
I guess so.
I just know music. When's the last time you saved money for music? Because that's a very teenage thing.
Right.
Like doing chores to like get a CD.
That's
or-
very
'cause-
our teenage, because now you buy it for whatever Spotify costs, right?
Right.
Well,
Well, that
that's
was
true,
the thing
yeah.
is like for a while I did because I would save up for CDs.
Yep.
Right.
And then as soon as, LimeWire was a thing, then I didn't pay for nothing.
Amen.
I
I had
tell
an
you what,
MP3 player.
the stuff I saw too soon because I was trying to download a NoFX song.
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you
Oh,
couldn't
yeah.
trust pirating sites back
War
then.
crimes.
Not at
Oh,
all.
yeah.
Super war crimes, honestly.
I need some
man.
headlines just to wash it out of my
Please.
memory.
Oh, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay, headline.
Headlines?
Hey, Cameron.
All right, our first one is about an alligator.
Yes.
Okay, who went to a church.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
They need it too.
All right,
Everybody
so
needs
this
it.
alligator just crawled out of the depths of sin.
Okay.
Okay. Wow.
Really crawled out of a storm drain and
I thought he
started
was evangelizing.
walking around the neighborhood.
Yep.
Ends up on the front steps of a church.
Yep.
The pastor of this church comes out. In the article, it says this so many times. Takes cheeky selfies. The cheeky pastor's reaction. I don't know. That's
the
not
author
being used
English?
anymore. I'm not sure. Please stop putting that in articles.
Oh, was the pastor wearing short shorts?
Oh.
True. Maybe that's
Yeah,
what it was.
He's wearing short denims
They were cheeky, all right.
and he was showing a bit.
Oh man. So anyways, he starts taking selfies with this alligator, puts up posts on social media that says when a gator shows up to the church but isn't ready to accept the Lord, and just was having a good time, just being kind
Yeah.
of cheesy. And then the alligator takes his leg off.
No.
That's what I'm talking about.
Come on.
No.
Okay.
I
But
wish.
that would
No,
be kind of cool.
But
though.
anyways, he just posts all these pictures, and then Florida Fish and Wildlife, though, they spoke out and they're like, "Don't do this." Like
Yes.
this guy,
yeah, stop
like, they-
taking photos.
I think they contacted him, and
Yeah.
basically he didn't get like
Did he
arrested or
at
anything.
Alligator? Because that really
I think he
alerts
tagged
Right.
him. Yeah. But anyways, he didn't get like arrested or fined, I don't think. But basically, they
Yeah.
gave him a good talking to and
Yeah.
said, "Don't do this," because he was up close, like taking selfies.
I was about
but-
to say, because that's the thing is people who aren't from Florida, I mean, they're hearing that going like, why would you just not run back inside?
Well,
Right.
when a man of faith does not fear death because he knows where he's going.
Right.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
true.
Here's the thing though, an alligator of that size isn't going to kill you. He's just going to bite your leg off
right.
and then you're miserable.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Lord's will is Lord's will.
Come on. It's the Lord's real will for this guy to get his leg bitten off. Taking a
Oh.
selfie.
All right, our next one, we have a Florida man who is actually being they're looking for him.
Okay.
I almost said arrested, but he's on the loose.
Soon to
On
be,
the
hopefully.
loose.
Yeah, soon to be. In Naples, Florida, they're looking for this guy because he apparently took his extra 4th of July fireworks, took him to a park, and
Nice.
blew up the urinals in the
Okay.
public restroom.
Okay.
So they
Whoa.
have footage of this happening where this guy's coming in and then running out. It's not footage of the
Okay.
urinal.
Dang
Okay.
it. That's what I want to
Yeah.
see.
But there is like this guy legitimately blew up these urinals.
Oh yeah, they're blown.
These are not like firecrackers.
That's good porcelain.
These
right
are
there.
cherry bombs.
Oh wow! Listen to this,
Wow.
Mr. Music
Sound
over
effects.
here.
Here's the thing: when someone says, man, I just blew up that bathroom,"
Yeah, I
I
never say
assumed it was
fireworks.
figuratively
Mhm.
speaking.
I mean, usually it is.
This
Yeah.
guy put a bomb in a public restroom. Now,
It's a
here's-
firework.
Is he 17 or under? Because that's
Probably.
the only way I could see
Probably.
this being something.
Well, the thing is, it happened last year at the exact same bathroom,
God.
the exact same urinal. So obviously, we have a serial
Yep, blower upper
bomber, toilet bomber.
Yeah.
I don't know how we want to.
Well, he hates that urinal for some reason.
He
well,
really
that,
does.
that Parks and Rec department's pretty PO.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
They're like, again?
they don't have the budget for a new urinal
No.
every year.
Everybody's peeing on the wall now.
God bless.
No more urinals for that.
Gotta hit
place.
I
that-
think
Gotta hit
fireworks
that pipe
should evaporate or disintegrate. After like 24 hours.
after 4th of July.
Yeah, the wicks should.
Oh,
Right?
I see what you're saying. Like there's an expiration date
Mhm. Yep.
because
It should be
Cameron.
like on a timer. They can only
Bingo.
open up
Yep.
for one
I
day.
see what you're saying. Okay, I like that.
Think about it.
I'll think about it, and I'll let you know next week.
I hate them either way.
Okay.
Anyways, our next Florida man story, we have a Florida man who was caught making love in his front yard.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, don't look.
With his girlfriend.
This is
All right.
America.
Yep.
Right. And his mom comes out. He's in the front yard of his mom's house.
Mom, go
His-
away.
His mom comes out.
I need a
tells him-
prophylactic.
tells him that he needs to stop doing what
Oh,
he's
okay.
doing.
Yeah.
He tries to come inside with his girlfriend.
Okay.
His mom says, no, you're not allowed in the house.
Yeah.
So the
you broke
girlfriend-
rule number 1: no doing the nasty on the front yard.
Right. So the girlfriend goes home or goes away.
She doesn't come inside.
But the son is super upset. Okay.
Yep.
He starts arguing with the mom. His sister comes in. He's arguing with her. He ends up hitting his sister on
Oh
the
my
top of the head,
gosh.
like boink.
Okay.
The article says he hit her with a closed fist, and then she had tenderness in the area.
Okay.
Okay.
And then
Who wrote that? Like a
what's
I don't
happening?
know these articles. Anyways, then his grandma comes up.
What's here? Where is this?
She gets hit under the eye with a cane. I assume her own cane.
Yeah.
And then the mom gets beat up too. So this guy gets in trouble for, messing around with his girlfriend in the front yard, which
Wow.
shouldn't be allowed.
I feel like I'm listening to a Charlie Chaplin episode.
It's insane because this guy, for the first part, obviously he's not in the right mental space.
What
He
put
could
you
just
there?
be in love.
Well, be in love in the
lust.
privacy of your own home.
Well, it wasn't his
He
house.
doesn't
It was
have
his
his own
mama's house.
But apparently his whole freaking family lives there
Yeah, that's
because
why he can't get any
went
privacy.
he went through the gauntlet of family members.
Well, literally. I mean, he literally beat up his whole family because they said he couldn't be with his girlfriend outside.
Okay.
Yeah.
So anyways, he was arrested for domestic battery by strangulation. I forget who he choked.
Yikes.
His sister, I think.
A cousin showed up.
Not today.
Aggravated battery on a person 65 years and older. Anyways, shame corner.
Oh, shame
What's
for
this guy's
him
name?
for sure. Let's see. I don't know if they say. I don't see it. I don't think they say.
I would love to know his name because
But he's 31 years old. I mean, they say that. I mean, you should know by now.
you're old enough to have a space to do that in private.
It's the
Right.
backyard.
Right, 100%.
It's a
That's
backyard.
that's a backyard activity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Front yard activity is what? Jumping through the sprinklers.
Yes.
Yeah.
Checking the mail.
Checking
Exactly.
the mail.
Yeah.
Backyard activity is what?
Camping.
And fornicating.
Yeah. Fornicating.
wow, that's a strong
the
word.
F word.
Is it
It's a
though?
nasty word.
That is
Thank
gross.
you.
Too far, bro.
Too far. All right.
Clean it
So we
up.
have a Florida woman who just bought a house with her husband
Congratulations.
in Dunedin.
Okay.
Okay. For $4 million
Nice house.
in June. Now,
My new
this
best
is
friend.
called the Kellogg Mansion. And
Oh,
there's been a lot
okay.
of dispute over this. This is, that Kellogg. The,
Cereal
Oh,
house.
that Kellogg.
the
Okay.
cornflake guy.
Yep.
Yummy.
So, anyways, I guess it's like a super quirky mansion owned by this W.K. Kellogg, cornflake.
Right.
Okay. And at one point,
What's
it was-
his full name? W.K. Kellogg Cornflake?
Yeah.
No wonder.
Mr. Cornflake.
Okay.
And anyways, obviously it was his house, but at one point it was also used during World War II. Okay, for like Marine officers. Anyways, this couple bought this house basically to tear it down.
Okay.
Well,
they
so
hate
they want-
cereal.
Okay.
They hated cereal.
Yep.
They want the property, but the house apparently has too many issues, like to even bring it back.
Yeah,
It's pretty soggy.
Yeah,
Demolish
it's
it.
super
Oh,
soggy.
wow.
It's been sitting out too long.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Thank you.
anyways, it would cost millions to even like get it to a state where it could be like a museum or
They
anything
tried,
like this.
but it was milking them. All they had.
So, anyways, like there's been a ton of pushback for this.
Yeah.
Well, they had to get the city to sign a contract, basically saying that this house would never be considered historic
Okay.
because you can't tear it down at that point. Well,
Right.
they finally got approval after months of being able to, basically buy this house just
Yeah,
to tear
yeah,
it down.
Right.
Well, at some point, they decided and promised the city that if they did this whole historic, it's not historic, so we can tear it down, they would give the city like a bunch of fixtures, statues, other pieces that are in the house that are worth over $100,000.
How many bowls and spoons do you think are in there?
Golden ones.
Yeah.
Silver
Tons.
ones.
Tons. So they made this kind of promise to the city saying, listen, we'll give you all these kind of things that are in the house so that you can sell them, you can auction them
Nice.
off. And then they did want to put like an exhibit together.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
makes
so the
sense.
city is also like doing a virtual 3D rendering, like
Whoa.
coming in to do a 3D model of the house.
Okay.
Well, anyways, this company comes in, like this salvage company, to get this stuff. And apparently they took the wrong stuff because they not only took like the statues and like the chandeliers, they were taking doorknobs.
Okay.
They were taking like wrought iron metal off
that was
everything.
getting demolished.
Just robbing the place.
Dude, they literally took every fixture out of the house.
Vizio TV. They're like, this is coming.
There's like a 1,500-pound sculpture of a Greek god.
I'd take it.
Nice.
Like all kinds of stuff. Like even there's an elevator in the house. They took the door off that.
You know, all you got to do is mark it, right? With a little sticker.
True.
Right.
True.
This is
A
going.
post-it note. Yeah.
Yep.
So anyways, they are, there's like 77 items that are missing. Doorbell. They took the doorbell.
You're welcome.
Elephant and tiger head fixtures. And so the couple is like, listen, we promised you this stuff. We want you to make this money, but you basically came in and robbed the place.
You robbed
We're
us.
being
Like
thorough.
literally, this place was robbed by this company, Tampa Bay Salvage. Now
Whoa,
their
whoa,
whole
whoa.
thing is, listen, I don't know where, like it was unclear because they're saying, listen, we'll give it back, but we were told to get this stuff,
Yeah.
and we spent $10,000 on labor and machinery to be able to
Because they can't
even
damage
do
it pulling
Well,
it
and
off.
you know how hard it is to get doorknobs off?
Oh, yeah.
Right. Well, especially vintage ones that are covered
Bingo.
in milk.
Or
I'm so
ivory.
impressed though that this house, the cereal house, had like not just those things, but like tiger heads,
Yeah.
Greek god statues.
I can see
feel
the
like
connection there. Though.
Any rich old person like who owned big
That's
cereal
it's
money.
dumb
Yeah.
money. Yeah, right.
I mean, they always had that kind of stuff. Like you had to have it. Like if
You
you were
got
going to
to,
be in the
yeah.
club.
I think the mindset's not there for me. Maybe it would be if I had that kind of cash. But if I'm thinking like I got expendable income,
Right.
I don't know. I mean, like I guess people
You're
know.
thinking water slide, right?
I'm thinking
thinking-
water slide activities,
Right.
like
cereal bowl, like a pool shaped like a cereal bowl
100%.
Oh my gosh, yes.
with a slide as a spoon.
wow.
Now that I'm saying it out loud, though, if I had that kind of cash
Yep.
and someone came up to me and they're like, "Hey, I've got this 15,000-pound Greek god statue," I'd be like, "Yeah, I'll take
I'm
it.
sold.
Put it out front.
I'll put it somewhere."
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, put it in the back for the backyard activities.
All right. Next, we have a Florida woman who was arrested after she became irate when she was on a Southwest airline flight and they
Okay.
told her to put her mask on and
Oh,
she
gosh.
refused. Now,
Okay,
Okay.
her name is Adelaide Scrowang.
come again.
Adelaide Scrowang.
What's the last name?
Scrowang?
Oh, okay. I thought
Bro,
Scrow
you're
was
being
the
such
middle
a
name.
you're being such a scrowing right now.
I know,
Yeah.
bro. I know. So she refused to wear a mask and got to the point where she was so mad. Not
Did
only
she just
was
wake
she,
up out of a coma?
I don't understand. That's the thing is like a lot of people in a lot of places, the mask mandate has come has gone away and all this kind of stuff. But federal law still requires masks in airport and on planes.
Of course.
Well, I mean, you can't get onto a plane and just expect the mask to come off. But you also can't get on a plane, be told to put it back on, and then get so mad that you just start spitting on everybody.
Oh, God.
Well, that's
okay.
okay. So she was slobbering it up.
She was spitting.
Yep.
Scro Wang was spitting on everyone.
I wouldn't expect that from a Scrowang.
No, and let me tell you about Scrowing. From what I know, they do slobber a bit.
They do slobber.
She's a slobbering lady.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that if it wasn't for her behavior, I wouldn't be making fun of the name, right? She can't help the name she was born with.
That's true.
But when you behave that way, in a way that puts you on the news, after spitting on people that you don't know.
That's not her first spit, I guarantee you.
Those people that you're
not at
spitting
all.
on didn't set the rules, lady.
No.
You know what I mean? You're attacking strangers because you're upset. That's a Scrowing move.
That is a Scro Wang move.
And you go into the shame corner, young
You think
lady.
you should lose like an eighth of your tongue? Like if you're a spit.
What?
I just feel like going to jail is not enough.
You lose an eighth of your tongue?
Just a tip.
What
Nice.
eighth? What part?
The
Just
front.
a tip.
Yeah, not the. You don't get shaved off like shaved ice.
And you're not
still,
going to taste.
you still taste it.
Yep.
But
You get right off the tip.
I see what you're saying. I don't know.
I'm not against it.
Yeah, let's think about it.
If you heard, okay, the punishment for spitting is you get snipped.
Oh, I never spit again.
Never.
Dang.
I wouldn't even spit my toothpaste
Oh,
out.
my mouth is like watering.
I was just about to say I don't spit right now, but my anxiety is like through the roof.
I'm swallowing
I'm like,
everything.
oh my god, I can't. I would be choking on my spit, man.
Hey, fella.
Hey,
Josh.
Josh.
So I got a letter.
Okay.
Nice.
This one
Thankful.
comes from Brandy in Jackson's Hole, Wyoming.
Come on.
Okay, wow.
Very cool.
Yes.
Brandy,
Brandy
good to hear
Thank
from you.
you.
Hole.
She says, you guys have mentioned church
Okay.
and Christian camp
Yep.
in the
Right.
past.
Yep.
That's true. This checks
Okay.
out so far. But y'all never get too deep in your beliefs.
Okay.
I like that.
Yep. Not that kind of show.
Yeah,
Right.
she put that in parentheses. I
Good.
like
Good.
that. But I'm kind of curious. Have you ever seen a miracle happen in real life?
Oh,
Okay.
okay. Not what I was expecting.
Not at
No,
all.
I didn't.
I've never been
Especially
asked.
after the, I'm glad you don't talk about it.
Right.
Now talk about it.
Yeah. Have you ever seen a miracle? I don't know that I've seen one, but I've been a part of one.
Okay.
Wow.
It was like a community miracle.
I was the miracle.
You were contributing.
Okay. Wow.
Okay.
I was the miracle. Now a lot of people don't know this. I've had some interesting jobs.
As
But,
the miracle.
well, post college, no,
Okay.
I actually was hired to coach a sports team.
Really?
Okay. I can
Interesting.
not see that happening ever.
I don't see that either.
It's a miracle you got the job. That's
I
the
think they
miracle.
were looking
It's a
more
miracle
so.
I didn't know about this.
Well, look more so for like a good manager.
Right.
Because
Okay.
I said like, hey, I've never even played ice hockey.
Okay.
I can't
Okay.
even skate.
Yeah.
So I get this job, and they're
I'm
like,
gonna
"Look,
leave now."
is there any way that you could piece together a ragtag group of American college students
Okay.
Right.
because
Mhm.
we're going to the Olympics and we need you to defeat the Soviets?"
Okay.
I don't know how much Brandy is going to appreciate this answer.
Yeah,
Right.
You're saying the 1984 hockey team, the Miracle.
yeah.
Miracle on Ice.
Yeah, that beat the Russians. You were part of that group.
I wasn't a part of it. I was the coach.
Are you Kurt Russell?
You're looking at him, baby.
Okay.
Oh,
wow.
The closest thing I have
That's Wayne's
to
favorite movie.
It
I
is,
do
gosh, you
love
talk
that
about it
movie
all the time.
I associate the word miracle with that film. But I will say this: the closest thing to a real life miracle that I experienced is I have this fear of frogs.
Yeah.
You guys know that?
Yeah.
Yes.
I am terrified
Weirdly,
of frogs.
yes.
Yeah.
I have been since I was born.
It's small jumping things you're not really. a
I don't
fan.
like it.
Children
I don't like
that
the
jump.
movement.
Right.
On the way to
Pogo
have our
sticks.
first child,
Uh-oh.
we were Sarah, my wife, was
That would be the miracle, right?
Yes.
that
The
is
first-
a miracle.
okay.
So this is a miracle in a miracle.
Right.
We pull up in the parking garage, and she is she's struggling to keep that baby in. Okay. We're running
She's not going to
behind.
miracle.
appreciate that.
I
Nope.
open the trunk
Yeah.
to get our baby bag out to go into
Oh,
the
nice.
hospital.
You got
Okay.
a go bag.
In there is one of the biggest frogs I've ever seen.
No, in
That's
the
not-
baby bag.
On the baby bag.
That's not part of your go bag?
Not
bro?
at all.
No.
I grab it. I move it aside. I take the bag.
No.
Going to the hospital.
You did not touch.
I
the frog.
literally didn't put two into like what had happened until my daughter was born, and I like the adrenaline comes off,
Yep.
and Sarah goes, "You just palmed a frog," and
Oh,
to
wow.
like
You're not allowed to say that.
to
on this
hand
podcast.
me the baby bag.
Right.
Yeah. Did
So
you
in a
wash your
way,
hands?
so no. So the miracle in the first degree was the child,
Okay,
the conception,
miracle.
and the
Right.
birth, and then the 2nd
Mhm.
degree was the fact that I faced a lifelong fear in order
You
to
did.
get what my wife needed going into the hospital.
Okay,
so you're
wow.
welcome.
I'm
And
impressed.
you're saying miracle.
Yeah, I was going to bring
M.A.
that up.
A miracle,
M-A-R?
Miracle.
Yeah.
A
That's
mi-
what we're hearing in our headphones.
a miracle,
Miracle.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But the last 10 times you said it?
miracle.
Miracle.
Yeah, well, I think it's because the first part of the story was so American.
Okay.
Oh,
Does that make
wow.
sense? A
Wow.
miracle.
Yep,
You see what
I
I'm
get
going
it
with
now.
that?
That's where the word came from. I
Yeah,
think.
that's where Amerigo Vespucci
I'm
named it
nothing
from.
but a patriot.
Okay.
And people have
Yeah,
always
if you're
said that
anything,
about me.
it's a patriot.
They've always said that.
Cameron, have you
so-
seen a miracle?
I have been a part of a miracle.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
So this is a true story. Okay?
Yeah.
Not a
Wayne's
movie
is too.
script.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, mine was.
So, anyways, when I was in college,
Okay.
I was coming down to I don't know, I was probably coming down to hang out with you guys.
Yep.
So I was driving down from Tallahassee
Nice.
on
Oh,
I-75.
here he goes.
Okay,
It's a big road.
a big road.
Big.
Okay, yeah, big boy road.
Yeah.
And the tread came off my tire. I've probably talked about this before, but
I've drawn a picture of it.
okay,
Actually.
really.
Yes.
Tread came off my tire,
GMC
and
Jimmy.
I flipped, rolled that SUV, hit the guardrail.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the miracle is if you look at the picture, my roof is smushed.
That car was total.
It was
dude.
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
crumpled, but
Mhm.
the only part of the roof that was not like completely smushed
yeah.
down was me, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like where I
That-
was sitting.
That dome.
And
It's a dome
I've
print.
always said this, from your shoulders to top of your head
Right.
is beefy.
Stone. Yeah.
It is beefy, but it's
Yeah.
also valuable.
It is valuable.
true,
And
yeah.
so the fact that you had enough like skeletal structure and that
Right.
small portion of your body to hold the roof up.
Well, I held the roof up with my hands.
Oh, you did.
Oh.
Okay. And so when I was spinning,
You did a raise the roof?
I did the raise the roof and I just
Cool.
held the roof up.
This roof is not my son, but I will raise it.
Okay.
No, but for real, man, honestly, like the picture
No,
of
it's
still
true.
is like it like crumpled the entire back.
What's
If you've
crazy-
never seen Cam, think of an Easter island.
Right.
Hey, that's how
What?
that's how he is built. It's all dome. It's all head.
A very cylinder shape.
No, I will say this. I remember speaking to Cameron shortly after that happened, and it was honest to God terrifying. Tons of adrenaline.
Yeah.
But I think I talked to you right before you left
Yeah,
to come
probably.
down, and then
Did you say drive safe? Is what
I
you did?
said
I don't think you
you're
did.
going. That's a big road, bud. Be careful.
Okay, yeah.
Right.
But
Check
no,
the
and he
tread
said-
before you
He
go.
said, "Keep your hands up in case your roof smushes in."
that may have been why the crash happened. Mr.
Yeah.
Driving with no hands,
Oh yeah.
just holding the roof up.
Then I had to sit in a gas station for like 3 or 4 hours.
Well, now
waiting
I
for
feel
somebody to pick
bad
me up.
because this
Yeah.
guy's got a real miracle over here, and I'm talking about frogs and
so
hockey
do,
teams.
So do I.
He touched a frog,
God,
and that's a
this is
miracle.
Okay, well, I have a boring life.
You had a baby.
That's
It was
the
in the
miracle.
That's the
store.
real miracle, and I coached the Olympic hockey
Right.
team.
That's the other
That's
one.
true.
Okay.
Yeah, that is
Okay.
true.
Well, I was a part of a miracle.
Oh,
I'd
yeah,
say
You are a
I
miracle.
wish you guys could see the smile on Josh's face right now.
because I was a part of this. It was cool to witness.
Jeez.
So I was young. I'm a young bloke. I
Okay.
was a preteen,
Okay.
Okay.
which is between 0 and 12.
And 12. Right.
17
Everybody's a
for you.
preteen. Yeah, for me.
Thanks for mapping it out.
And it was like one of those grandmas that's like, you think it's your grandma, but they're like, you don't think they're related.
So you
don't
have like
see
an
them
old
often.
lady in your life who's special, but not your
Yeah.
meemaw.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
What now?
It's like a grandma that's not related, but
Okay.
everybody's like, they're like, that's your
That's
grandma.
She's
grandma.
everyone's grandma.
I see
Yeah.
what you're
I
saying.
gotcha.
Her name was Hen. We called her Hen,
Yeah. Okay.
Henrietta,
Okay. Hen.
but preteens can't
Sounds
say
really
Hen-
old.
Henrietta.
yeah.
Right.
Real quirky old lady from what I remember. Because
You don't remember a lot from 12.
I really don't know. she has a sad life. She was not doing good health-wise.
Jeez.
Right.
Had lost a husband.
Thanks for bringing us down.
Wow. No, in the woods. He got lost. She couldn't find him at all. So one day, like, we go to visit her, and she greets us at the door like you do.
Have you seen my husband?
And we're like, no. Put posters
Nobody's seen
up.
him.
For the last time, Hen.
God, Hen, get over it.
It's been
Move
40
on.
years.
It's been 72 hours.
Yeah.
And
Jeez.
so she greets us at the door.
Right, with a
And
kiss.
she's like, come on back. And so she's leading us to the living room, but all the while she's walking backwards, like keeping this conversation with us.
Like eye contact.
But like she's lived in the house for like 40 years. So I
Right.
get it. She knows it.
She
Right.
can just
I see what you're
just 'cause
saying.
you can do it doesn't mean you should though.
Bingo.
Right.
Great point.
And that's the first time she had done that, or the
Yeah.
first time I had noticed.
I gotcha.
right, sure.
So she's leading us back, and all while talking to us, she's even like pointing stuff out. So we're going through the hallway, and she's like, "Yeah, the next painting that's coming up on my right, it's gonna be your left. I just got it at Goodwill last week."
She
Yeah.
tour guide?
Yeah, so she's just like this, and then we walk like 5 feet, and she points right at it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
impressive.
that's a strong periph. you know?
Right, sure.
She then takes a sharp left, boom, steps down into the den, walks
Okay.
backwards into her recliner.
Now, for someone who doesn't have a good memory of this,
This was an odd thing.
you're
Okay.
detailing this house like a blueprint.
Oh, I remember it like it was yesterday.
Okay, I'm starting to get a little bit scared, actually.
Yeah, I'm a little scared too.
I'm
honestly.
nervous.
It was a beautiful white tile, black grout.
Oh,
The walls were painted in like a mint green.
I
I'm
love
wondering
a
if
good
she
black
made her
rock.
husband disappear.
Uh-oh.
gross, Hen.
So noticing her, she looked healthier than I had seen her
Okay.
Okay.
before. And I don't gauge like healthiness, like, she was just more active, she seemed.
Okay.
Smiley.
Full
Play
of
more
life.
sports.
Sure.
Yeah,
Full
yeah.
of life.
So we start talking, I'm really not part of the conversation because I'm preteen,
Yeah.
but it's
Right.
like whatever adult I was with. That's the little bit I remember. I don't even know which parent I was with.
Right.
But they're talking and she gets up, 180s real quick, walks backwards into the kitchen.
Still walking backwards.
Yeah. Turns around in the kitchen and I can see her. She got a big veggie plate, walks backwards all the way, puts it down on the table.
She got shin splints? Why
Yeah,
she-
what's happening?
Yeah. And I'm like, is nobody seeing this?
Yeah.
What's happening? So I think it was my dad. My dad's like, you're looking healthy. Is
Right.
it all these veggies? Because there was an exorbitant amount of veggies.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it was like a whole head of broccoli. Not
Right.
even cut, which is kind of inconvenient.
That's gross.
Yeah, like you don't want to dip a whole
No.
in the ranch.
No, get with it, Hen.
And she always had these like weird sayings. She's like, I'm just getting younger. That's all. I'm gonna be a tadpole soon. So
That's
I don't
an
think
odd statement.
I don't think anybody had said that saying before.
But what
and
else?
you can't
okay.
bring up tadpoles around Wayne.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh!
you
Wow,
don't.
how
You don't.
relevant.
Did she ever say anything else weird? Like,
Well,
I mean,
yeah,
like
my grandma was a frog, and she hid in your trunk.
occasionally she would be like, ribbit.
No, she used to say it was like she was all about like working hard, or she was retired, but she talked about her days working hard.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she's like, every day I put a raw potato in my pocket, and I didn't come home till it was hash browns. And I'm like,
I like that one.
how is that even anything?
I feel like
Right.
you're making fun of me for being Irish.
No,
I just feel like you're making fun of everyone that's listening to this.
that's what she would say. Like, I guess you work so hard, you
That-
a raw potato.
I see what you're saying. It blossomed. and-
Yeah.
Oh, right.
Because of her thigh heat.
yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
Her
think
britches
that
are
at all.
steaming.
Yeah. Come on, Hen.
She always talked about like, she's like, I hate getting in arguments with Richard was his name, her spouse.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's like, so anytime we argue, I just squint at him because it makes him look better and me look like I'm smiling. And
Good
I'm like,
Lord.
I get it. I'm like, do it to me.
So she's walking through the house backwards, insulting, you know.
No, she didn't say all those things. That's what I remember off the
Okay.
dome.
Right.
She just said she's going to be a tadpole soon.
right.
But why is she walking backwards?
Well, she's quirky.
Yeah. Okay.
So, about 10 minutes later, she gets up and goes to the bathroom. And when she comes back, I think my dad's like, why are you walking backwards?
yeah.
Yeah, everyone wants to know.
Yeah, everybody's like, oh my God, what's happening here? And she goes, well, I don't know if I should say. Oh, no. Yeah. And we're like, okay, you can say, like,
Yeah.
your
Just lay-
quads hurt. You
lay
did
it
leg
on
days.
us. Yeah.
And she's like, I'm actually getting younger. And everybody's like, okay. She explains
Come again?
that you remember Reader's Digest?
Yeah. Okay. Great magazine.
She explains she read this article in Reader's Digest, and it was about cars.
Okay.
And it was about how dealerships were putting it up on a jack stand and putting it in reverse, and it was removing mileage.
Okay.
What?
It was so the odometer would tick backwards. She explained all this to us, and I'm like, okay. And then she said, so I went to bed that night,
Right.
and I had a dream. An angel told me,
Oh, God.
if it works for cars, it'll work for you.
Okay.
So she said, I woke up early, and I usually don't get up till 10, but I woke up early, like 6, and without an alarm, and I walked the neighborhood backwards.
Okay. So she's trying to Benjamin Button herself by walking back.
Like a reverse Benjamin Button. Like she's getting younger by walking backwards.
That's what she thinks.
Yep. So she walked the neighborhood, she said, and she said she just decided she's going to do it for a week. And she got better at it because I'm sure the first time it doesn't feel natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're walking backwards.
So she said after a week of walking every morning, I felt great.
Okay, hear me out. At any point did you confront Hen and just go, perhaps it's because you're exercising and eating vegetables?
I was preteen. You don't confront Hen.
You don't even speak up. Yeah. So Hen
Wait,
believed...
is that actually what's happening?
Well, she went to the doctor, okay? After a month of doing this, she goes to the doctor.
Wow, you really followed up with him.
Hen was... Once you have the secret of life, Hens really wants to like prove her point.
Right. I see what that's why you walked in the studio backwards today.
That's it.
I was going to say you got a healthy glow.
That's what's happening here.
Right.
I've been walking backwards for the last hour and a half.
You got a potato in your pocket or are you just getting younger?
No, it's making hash browns. So she's like, I went to the doctor. You're not going to believe this. But I get in there and he says, Henrietta, you look great. Easily 5 years younger. What's your secret?
No.
And she said, I didn't tell him because, those science types, they don't believe in miracles.
Right.
Oh, come on.
That's true, actually.
And then it was like 2 years later, she passed away.
Wait, what?
That's it.
When she fall, she just
fell over or something.
Walk backwards down the stairs.
Trip over a dog. Oh, God.
I don't. That's the worst miracle I've ever heard.
That's terrible.
That's worse than my frog hair. Tonight's story section is actually two different stories
Wow.
that somewhat intertwine.
Okay.
Okay, they better.
So the stories take place in two different states. The first
Don't
one,
like that.
They better be.
hear me out. The
Okay.
first story takes place in Maryland.
Nope, I'm done.
Don't like
The
that.
second story takes place in Florida.
I'm
Let's
back,
go.
baby.
I only want to hear the second one.
Okay. We're talking about two different people. One person is called Oliver Thomas, and the other person is called Daniel Lewis.
Oh,
Okay.
Oliver
So-
Thomas is definitely from Florida.
So that's a different little layout, but we're going to see how it works. Story number one. Oliver Gainey Thomas was born November 11th, 1913 in Chesapeake City, Maryland.
Okay.
Okay, exactly like I said.
Turn of the century.
Oliver's family had been in the area for quite some time. His great-grandfather had immigrated there in 1839, so his family was really established. Chesapeake City is a very small town, even still today, under 1,000 people.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So in 1913, when Oliver was born, it wasn't a stretch to say that the entire community kind of knew about it, right? It's like
Okay.
a small town.
That he was born.
Well, yeah, like everybody
yeah,
knows
yeah.
everybody.
Yeah,
His
true.
family had been there 4 generations.
It's a miracle.
Right.
It's a
There,
miracle.
well, there you go. Some would say that. So here's the thing. The issue with Oliver was that he was an abnormally shy kid.
Okay.
Okay. Especially in a small town.
Right. So
I feel like you're being like, oh, he thinks he's better than us.
everybody's watching us. Yeah, watching me. So when the Thomases would bring their son Oliver into town for lunch or maybe into the park for a picnic, it was always a struggle because he was like awkwardly shy. Like it's one thing for kids to be shy around grown-ups sometimes, like maybe hide, you know. But the Thomases realized pretty quickly that something was kind of off with Oliver, especially so because all the way up until 4 years old, he wouldn't speak to anybody but his parents.
Oh, so he's a preteen.
Right. Exactly.
Makes sense.
So they would take him to the doctors. They took him to a pediatrician, took him to a specialist.
Okay.
And both doctors were like, I mean, I don't know. He's probably going to grow out of it.
Not like
You know?
not like wouldn't chit chat or small talk. Like wouldn't talk at all.
He would hide. Like he
Okay.
just,
Like
he
jump in
didn't
a garbage can to avoid people.
100%. He would
Wait, you
only
did that?
speak.
I did that.
Yeah. In high school.
Yeah.
He would only speak to his immediate family.
Wow.
He was very cautious. So, the doctors say, look, he'll grow out of it. He'll be fine. So the problem is his parents are concerned because it's almost time for him to go to school.
Yeah.
And they're like,
shyness is a fad.
Yeah, how's he
right?
gonna? And this is, again, at a time in our country's history where like you weren't really being homeschooled. So basically, the doctors say he'll grow out of it. He'll be fine. Oliver Thomas gets sent to school, and nothing really changes. He makes no friends. He barely talks to the teacher, and basically, before long, the entire town is calling him the shy boy.
Okay. Well, that's not going to help anything.
It's not going to help at
I was
all.
going to say, it sounds a lot like bullying by today's standards,
Right.
but keep in mind, this is 1917. So there's no such thing as bullying yet.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I think it exists. Just not by name.
It wasn't named.
Yeah.
So regardless of his reputation, Oliver continued through school. He did exceptionally well. He was a very smart kid and made great marks in every area. And just like the doctors suggested, he did eventually begin to grow out of his shyness.
Well, how do you, bully a shy person? You just talk to him?
I guess so. Like,
Like, no, stop.
You want to talk to me? So here's the thing. By the time he got to high school, he had only made a couple friends. But in his junior year, he made a girlfriend.
Oh, here we go.
Okay.
He
Girls
got a
do-
girlfriend.
Yeah.
You got to talk to
They
them.
do that.
She was a local girl. She was the baker's daughter. Her name was Lil.
Oh, not the baker.
The baker's
The buns on
daughter.
her.
The buns on her.
Butter.
What? Not butter.
I was looking for a bread reference.
Jeez, that's
Pervert.
Dairy man's daughter.
Her name was Lily Ann Moore. And Oliver and
sounds
Lily
beautiful.
were inseparable. Lily brought out the best in Oliver. The two got married. And over time, Oliver began slowly kind of breaking out of his shell.
Right.
He would even agree to go to social gatherings
Whoa.
with his new
Whoa.
wife. Lily, she came from a family of boaters.
Okay.
With
I
a
thought it was
B.
bakers.
With a B, boaters.
Yeah.
Her dad owned
Sailors?
a
maybe?
sailboat.
Oh, okay.
Her brother
Riverboat?
owned sailboats. And so it kind of was one of those things where she was like, look, every guy in my family does this.
Yep.
Oliver, I think you should try it. I think you would really get into boating. I think you would enjoy
I think
it.
you should try getting on a boat.
Yeah.
Get on a sailboat and
You
see what
can't
happens.
boat alone, right? So it has to be a social thing.
Here's the thing. Kind of Oliver was a natural. The very first time he stepped foot on her father's sailboat, he took the helm and piloted the craft all by himself.
Wow.
Which is hard to do. Sailing is difficult.
Yeah.
So very quickly, their families kind of noticed this correlation that the more time Oliver spent on a boat, the more his childhood habits began to slowly fade away.
Okay.
Sounds
kind
like
of-
he just needed a hobby when he was a kid.
He needed
That's
something to
like-
kind of, bring it out of him.
They thought they were going to make his hobby like talking to people.
Right.
It's like, I don't like that.
Exactly. He's like, I want to be on the ocean.
Yeah.
By the time Oliver was 30 years old, he was regularly organizing boat gatherings for the entire
Okay.
community.
And they're like, we don't
Wow.
even have boats. It's you and your wife's family.
I know. So dozens of families would sail to a specific spot on the bay,
Okay.
and they would tether their boats together and have this like day-long event with music and potluck dinners, all organized by Oliver Thomas.
That sounds
Okay.
like Florida.
It does.
The kids
every
obsessed
weekend.
with boats up in Maryland. In the summer of 1949, Oliver was organizing his biggest event ever.
Okay.
Over 100 boats around the area of Chesapeake City had agreed to take part in a county-wide picnic day out on the water.
Wow.
Okay. Do you
So-
just like walk boat to boat? Like if you're tied together?
Actually, yeah,
Yeah.
they would,
Whoa.
and they would visit, and each boat would have like a different meal or a different like dish to offer, and you would just kind of
Jeez.
go
that sounds
around.
dangerous.
So here's the thing: it was a big deal for the community, and it was all thanks to the shy boy Oliver Thomas.
Okay. They
Okay,
still
you
call
can
him,
stop
Yeah.
calling him that.
I'm gonna call him that.
call him boat boy.
So the shy boat boy.
Okay.
Oh,
Meet in the middle. So the night before this big event, Oliver tells his wife Lily, "I want to go out on the water for a little bit.
Uh-oh.
I'm kind of
Okay.
nervous. I'm a bit anxious about the event tomorrow.
Nice.
It'll do me some good to calm me down and go sailing."
Got it.
Oliver left their house at around 6:15 p.m.
Here we
Okay.
go.
Hmm,
and
here
that
we
was
go.
the last time Lily ever saw her husband.
Now we're talking.
Dang.
That evening, when Oliver never returned home, Lily notified family and friends and eventually the Chesapeake City Police Department.
Right.
The next day, the sailboat belonging to Oliver Thomas was discovered
What?
anchored approximately 100 yards offshore.
What?
There were no signs of disturbance. There hadn't been any storms,
Okay.
and the water in the bay was calmer than average.
Okay.
In 1949, Oliver Thomas simply disappeared from existence. His body was never found.
What?
His community searched for him by placing photos
Right.
in all the neighboring counties. The news picked up the story, and eventually thousands of people were on the hunt. They searched so long and hard for this guy that they did not declare Oliver Thomas officially pronounced dead until 4 years later.
Goodness.
Wow.
They were
Have you seen the
obsessed-
Shy Boy?
No, literally. That's what they were calling it.
Gosh.
They were hunting for the shy boy Oliver Thomas. This is it was a big deal in
He's
the 40s.
really good at hiding.
Yeah,
it's
right.
like, where's Waldo?
So in 1953, 4 years later, they officially pronounced him dead. He was so beloved by his community, they didn't give up searching for over 1,200 days.
Goodness.
Absolutely
Yeah,
insane.
geez.
Story number 1 ends with a bummer.
What?
That is
That's
a bummer.
it?
That's
Yes.
the end of story number 1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Story number 2. March 26th, 1955, in the small town of Marianna, Florida,
Okay.
a man by the name of Clark Bisping, the editor of the Marianna Times newspaper, was sitting alone in his office when a man named Daniel Lewis walked in.
Okay.
Okay. Old Dan Lewis.
Good morning.
Daniel had on a top hat, carried
Okay.
a suitcase, and he told Clark that he was new in town and looking for work.
Okay.
Wow. He just walked into somebody's office?
Confident.
Yeah.
Well, you get that from a top hat.
It
A
does
top
bring
hat,
lot.
yeah, 100%.
A briefcase, too.
So Clark Bisping said that Daniel Lewis was one of those personalities that when you meet him, you just instantly fall in love.
Got it.
He said
People
Daniel
say that about
Yeah.
me.
You. Yeah.
about Cameron.
Charismatic.
So
Right.
Daniel was full of kindness and charisma, extremely extroverted, and he seemed like a car salesman that you could actually trust.
Whoa.
That's a
Wow.
quote from Clark Bisping.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Lady stealer.
On the first day,
Mhm.
Daniel talked himself into a job at the Marianna Times newspaper as
Okay.
co-editor.
Wow.
Okay. Wow.
Isn't that like one of the highest positions?
That was Clark's job, actually.
Okay.
So keep in mind, that's Clark's job, the editor.
Yeah.
So Daniel, with his magnetic personality, has
Okay.
essentially talked himself into the position of the guy who just hired him.
right. I'll take your
Okay.
girlfriend too.
Wow.
And it wasn't like Clark was the only employee there.
No, he's got a whole team.
He's got a whole team, and Daniel surpasses all of them.
That they all want to be editors.
They all want to be editors.
It's that briefcase.
It's that
It's that
briefcase and
confidence
top
in the
hat.
briefcase. Everyone in the town of Marianna would wait eagerly every Thursday morning for Daniel's weekly piece to be released.
Whoa.
Okay.
They were usually on local stories, spotlighting different towns, people, and businesses. But even in the way Daniel wrote, his personality shined
Why
through.
isn't it about confidence?
That's the thing is
You need to do self-help.
I know, right? But the way that Daniel wrote, his personality just shined through. So
Yeah.
before long, the entire town of Marianna, Florida, they loved this man. And within a year, Clark retires and Daniel was the sole boss of the Marianna
Oh my
Times.
goodness.
In a
Within the
year?
course of a year,
Jeez.
this guy's the boss of the newspaper in this
Wow.
town. In 1956, the running joke in the town of Marianna was, don't leave your wives alone with Daniel Lewis,
Hey.
because if he gets longer than an hour, you're
Whoa.
going to find yourself single and divorced.
Oh my
They
gosh.
say that about Josh too.
They do say that about Josh.
Yeah, that exact phrase. What was it?
I'll
Don't leave
say it
your
one
wa-
more time.
Okay.
The running joke in the town
That's not a joke.
in the town of Lakeland, Florida.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't leave your wives alone with Josh Mills.
Mhm.
No, so that's what they said about Daniel Lewis. His personality was so charming that the local Methodist pastor frequently suggested during his sermons that Daniel Lewis was actually the devil
What?
and had
What?
been sent to Marianna, Florida to mislead their people and to lead them
What?
astray.
Goodness.
That you don't want to get that reputation.
No.
Bro,
I bet he had
How
pecs for
charming are
days.
you that the pastor in town's like, this guy's the devil.
He's the devil.
Don't
Wow.
trust him. It's just
Right.
jealousy.
His wife
Just
definitely got
jealousy.
stolen.
Here's the thing. In 1957, 2 years after arriving in town,
Mhm.
Daniel Lewis announced his candidacy for mayor.
Oh my goodness.
Jeez,
This
that's
guy,
impressive.
he sounds like the devil.
So he was so popular that it was even suggested that the election be canceled to save the town time and money. And basically, the citizens were like, let's just make this guy.
No
Yeah.
way.
We don't even need an election. Everybody loves Daniel Lewis.
Yeah.
Let's make this guy king of Marianna City,
Okay,
Florida.
Okay,
Daniel, the
basically.
devil Lewis.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
But Daniel refused. He insisted on campaigning all day, every day, shaking
Okay.
hands, kissing babies, and wooing every single citizen he came across. He even resigned from his job as the editor of the newspaper because he felt like it was a conflict of interest. So this guy's like just
Yeah.
He
golden
wants
boy.
mayor more than he wants.
Well,
his
he
job.
kept doing hit pieces on himself.
Yeah, right. Here's the thing. Around this time, something interesting happened.
Okay.
right.
A family from Marietta,
Mhm.
where Daniel Lewis is running for mayor, this random family invited their cousin Matthew to stay with them for the summer.
Okay.
Their cousin Matthew was from North Carolina, but he had just married a sweet girl from Maryland.
Okay.
So Matthew
Okay.
and his
Don't
new
do this
wife,
to me, Wayne.
Yep.
Matthew and his new wife from Maryland show up to this little town in North Florida
Yep.
just in time to see the mayoral candidate Daniel
Right.
Lewis give this big speech at the community center. Matthew's wife, who's from Maryland, leans over to her husband
Swooned instantly.
and says, "That guy's name isn't Daniel Lewis. That's Oliver Thomas. He's been dead for 5 years."
And he's
Jeez.
really shy.
He's super shy.
Yeah.
What?
So this
Okay.
girl from
Like the guy's
Maryland,
personality is totally different.
He
Right.
swam the river.
she's not from Chesapeake City, but she's from the surrounding area, and she remembers seeing the pictures of this guy plastered
Okay.
all
Yep.
over the county
Okay, doppelganger.
because they had been like plastered everywhere.
And she's like,
so
I just want to see the Far Side comic.
Well, she's kind of
I gotta
insisting.
Look at this guy.
Yeah, she's insisting to her husband, like, I'm telling you, this guy's an imposter. That's the guy who's missing. Like, that's not Daniel, whoever Daniel Lewis is.
Yeah.
The problem is no one in town believes her because
right.
they're in love
Yeah.
with this guy.
Yeah.
There's no way what she's saying is true. She's a stranger to them. So basically, the entire town has kind of conveniently forgotten that 2 years prior, this guy just kind of strolled in.
Nah.
No one knew who
He's
he
been in our
was.
hearts the
They
whole
fell in
time.
love with him,
He's still a
right?
stranger.
So this girl confronts him
Oh no.
after the speech. And witnesses say that Daniel laughs it off and says, I've always heard I have a twin somewhere, and just kept campaigning.
That's perfect.
Nice.
Just kept on moving
He's
on.
prepared that.
And also, this is the 1950s, so she can't just like snap a picture of the guy and from her pocket camera.
Right.
But while she's in town, she happens to comb through some old copies of the Marietta Times
Okay.
and finds a photo of Daniel Lewis.
New editor.
And
Oh,
she takes
nice.
it home back to Maryland
Okay.
and starts showing everybody.
Serial swooner, right?
Yeah,
in town.
right.
This is like dedication on her part.
Yeah, everybody back in Maryland goes, yeah, that's Oliver Thomas.
Yeah.
What?
That's
Well, she
100%
put the photo,
Oliver
she
Thomas.
laid it over the other one, and it was
Perfect
identical.
match. The final test was you got to take it to Lily.
No.
Oh, Lily would know.
So Lily had remarried since then.
Of course.
And so this woman takes it to Lily, shows the photo, and Lily goes, that's Oliver Thomas.
No way.
Does
that's my
Lily keep the
ex-husband.
new husband like away from boats?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
She's like, that's Oliver. So
What?
That's a miracle.
here's the
That
thing.
is a miracle.
They actually word travels back to Marietta, Florida.
Right.
Uh-oh.
Hey, we've got confirmation.
Your twin's dead.
Daniel Lewis isn't who he says he is. He's
Oh,
Oliver
really?
Thomas. He's been missing, all this sort of stuff, right? Here's the thing. By the time the word got back to Marietta, Florida, it was too late because Daniel Lewis, after that campaign event, was never seen again.
No,
Okay.
really.
Jeez.
His home appeared to have been ransacked,
Yeah.
but the only thing that was missing were a few pieces of clothing and a suitcase.
Wow.
Wow,
He was
how
literally
convenient.
never seen again.
It was anchored
What?
100 yards away from where it was. Previously,
Yeah.
too.
So till this day, both communities
What?
have pretty much moved on. But if you ask anyone who was born and raised in either of those areas, there's a good chance their grandparents told them the story how the shy kid who died at sea went on to become a candidate for
Wow,
mayor
I love
1,000
it.
miles away.
That's insane.
Here's the thing. It was very common back in that time for husbands to kind of walk out and never come back.
Okay.
And just kind of like leave their families or whatever and start over because you could start over
Yeah.
across the country and
No
no one's the
internet,
wiser. There's
right.
no one can
Well,
prove
probably 15 miles away, you could start over.
True.
that easily could.
Yeah.
So the vast majority of people believe that this guy, for whatever reason or the other,
Yep.
was tired of his life and was like, I'm done.
Here's the thing, though. Like, okay, you're a child, you're a shy child, but you grow out of it.
Yeah, your wife
But-
helps you come out of it.
Right. But you are never, it sounds like the town never grew out of
No.
who he was supposed
Calling
to
him the shy boy.
be. Yeah.
'cause
Like
right.
expectations were
Yeah.
always that he was going to be the shy guy.
Right.
You got to think the first time he like shakes hand, everybody's like, "Oh my gosh, amazing! Look at you! You're shaking hands down." He's like,
He was
"It's just-
literally
I'm just trying to live." here."
Bullied
Right.
Oh.
to start
By
a
an
new
entire
life.
town. And I
Yeah.
think the biggest thing about it too is like once you get that taste of confidence that his wife helped him obtain, he's planning successful like boating events and stuff. And he probably looks back and goes, man, I wasted 30 years of my life, like not doing anything. And homie just goes, hey, I'm starting over.
Y'all are about to see me disappear. Amen.
And show up in the next town over running for mayor.
I could be a shy guy.
But it does go to show you that charisma's king. Like, I mean, this guy walks in, talks himself into a chief job, runs for mayor. And had it not been for this blind, dumb luck of this girl from the same region showing up to the small town in Florida, the guy would have been mayor and no one the wiser. But yeah, absolutely insane.
Where's he today?
He usually thinks no one knows.
Oh, we got to find the
He
third
literally
story
was
to
never
tie
seen
into this.
again.
Anchored 100 feet offshore.
Somewhere
in Florida.
Good deal.
Somewhere hanging out. Actually, he became a scoutmaster.
Oh my gosh.
Ended up in the Everglades.
Oh my god.
From last episode?
Last week's story.
Oh, wow.
The sea aliens got him.
That was
Sea
him.
aliens, the submarine.
Episode 138, ladies and gentlemen.
Good story. Good
I like
times.
that one. That was good.
We did it. Yeah. Listen, if you're thinking about parking your boat and leaving,
Right.
don't do it.
Oh.
Right.
No, put our episode on.
Yeah.
Chill out a bit, go back home and go to patreon.com/FMOFM podcast.
Yes.
If your life is terrible,
then you can leave.
Patreon will fix it.
Yeah.
We have more content for you. But the catch is, you got to give us money.
Yeah. Then you can change your life for the better.
Yeah. No, we love you guys so much. Thank you for hanging out with us. FMOFM podcast on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Boom, baby.
What's the other
Patreon.
one? Zipper? Is that the new
Everywhere.
one?
Everywhere. Wherever you want to find us.
Yeah.
Come Off and Podcast.
Amen.
We love you. We love your family. We'll see you later.
See ya.